Dietitian, nutritionist, health coach. What is the difference? And does it even matter? Hey love, it's Yentl, holistic dietitian and stress therapist, specializing in cancer and chronic conditions so that you can thrive in remission and prevention. So if that sounds like your vibe, be sure to subscribe and join the tribe. A question that I get asked often is, what's the difference between a dietitian and a nutritionist? And now we have health coaches as well. So does it even matter when it comes to getting nutrition advice? I mean, don't they all do the same thing? Didn't they all study the same thing? And the simple answer is no. But it really all depends too on where you are at in terms of your nutrition and your health, because each of these roles, a dietitian, nutritionist, and a health coach, have a place in your overall health and health care. So I'm going to share with you what are the main differences between a dietitian, nutritionist, and a health coach so that you can know which one is the right resource and support for you. Let's start with a registered dietitian. Registered dietitians are board certified food and nutrition experts here in the US and in many other countries. A registered dietitian is a protected credential, meaning that a person needs to complete the criteria that is set forth by a governing body in the US or in other countries. So for example, here in the US, that governing body is the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. And the criteria involve somebody that is highly educated in nutrition and dietetics, which is the science of food and nutrition and its impact on human health. And this education provides extensive training in evidence-based medical nutrition therapy, nutrition counseling as well, so that the individual can then tailor a treatment plan based on each person's individual needs. So for starters, to earn the credential of a registered dietitian, you must first earn a bachelor's degree or equivalent from an accredited university or college. And typically the undergraduate degree is in a science that involves courses in biology, chemistry, organic chemistry, microbiology, genetics, medical nutrition therapy, food science, and counseling, just to name a few. And effective January of 2024, all dietetic students will be required to have at least a master's degree. On top of the formal education that is required, which at this point is a bachelor's, but eventually will be a master's degree, all dietitians to be will need to do an internship. And in the US, it is competitive, and the internship program has to be accredited as well. The internship involves at least 1,200 hours of unpaid supervised practice in 4 different areas of nutrition. The areas include clinical nutrition, food service management, community nutrition, and research. Once the internship is completed, now the dietitian to be has to take an exit exam to successfully complete their education before being able to now sit for yet another exam, which is considered the national board exam. And once the dietitian to be passes that board exam, they are officially a registered dietitian. And if that wasn't enough, there are several states, I'm in Florida, so Florida is included in this, that require a license to be able to practice nutrition therapy in that state. Some licenses do require a certain exam or additional requirements to be able to obtain that license. But in other states, it's simply just showing that you have the registered dietitian credential, applying for licensure, and paying a fee. We got the registered dietitian, who may also be licensed depending on the state they're in. And now it doesn't stop there. In order to keep and maintain their credential of a dietitian as well as the licensure, they have to continue to complete continuing education credits, which means they have to keep up with their professional development, especially being part of an ever-changing and ever-evolving field. So dietitians are qualified to practice in a variety of settings, including hospitals, clinics, research institutions, local communities, just to name a few. Now, the official credential is no longer just registered dietitian, but it's registered dietitian nutritionist, RDN. And that's where it can become a little bit confusing. So let's talk about the term nutritionist. Oftentimes the word dietitian or nutritionist is used interchangeably. And in some countries outside of the US, registered nutritionist requires certification from a governing body as well. So it can be very synonymous to a registered dietitian here in the United States. However, this doesn't always translate the same in the US. Here in the US, the title nutritionist is regulated on a state-by-state basis, meaning it's not a nationally protected credential like a registered dietitian is. In the states that regulate the term nutritionist, there are certain qualifications that the individual needs to meet before being able to conduct any medical nutrition therapy on the community or on patients. In certain states, those who receive certifications like a certified nutrition specialist are those who have the authority to practice aspects of nutrition care. So for example, you're someone who has diabetes and you'd like help with knowing what to eat or how to eat to better manage your sugar levels. Anywhere where you are in the US, you can go to a dietitian. They would be the best qualified to help you with your chronic condition. But also, if you live in a state where a nutritionist meets the qualifications to be able to provide medical nutrition therapy, meaning someone who can work with chronic conditions, then you can go to a nutritionist as well. So why is it important that it's a person that is credentialed by your state or nationally to work with you? Well, in the states that don't regulate the term nutritionist, anybody with an interest in nutrition can call themselves a nutritionist. This could be anyone from running a food blog to then deciding to also work with clients, but don't necessarily have any background knowledge in nutrition. Because uncredentialed nutritionists typically lack the training and the expertise for medical nutrition therapy and nutrition counseling, it can be potentially harmful to receive advice from them. So before consulting with someone who is strictly a nutritionist and not a dietitian, it is best to check if your state regulates who can use that title. Now, what is a health coach? A health coach is not a regulated term by any means, so anyone can call themselves a health coach. You don't have to have a prior background or any training necessarily in health to call yourself a health coach. Now, there are certain institutes out there that can provide you a certification of some sort that can take anywhere from a few weeks to a few months to call yourself a certified health coach. But it's important to know that these credentials are not protected by any governing body. So if they are not someone who already has a healthcare credential, like a dietitian or a nurse, they may not have the expertise to work with chronic conditions. Now, this doesn't mean that health coaches have no place in healthcare. The way I like to describe a health coach is that they're somewhat of a cheerleader and a supporter. They're also someone that bridges the gap between your appointments. We all know that doctor's appointments or even an appointment with your own registered dietitian or your nurse practitioners, they can be few and far in between. And we know that a lot can happen, or we can experience a lot of different things or need a lot of support between that time. They can provide you that much needed support or tough love to maintain any health goals that maybe you have placed with your own healthcare provider. They help to see that you follow through and that you don't fall off the wagon, or if you do fall off the wagon, they're there to help get you back up. The word coach is really the key word there. I mean, just thinking about a coach in sports, this is the person that can enhance the skills that you already have to be able to build and maintain the healthy habits that will improve your overall well-being. Hopefully, knowing the differences now, it can help you decide which one is right for you. But here's a way to think about it. If you're somebody who has a chronic condition and you are needing help with your nutrition that will help you be able to better manage that chronic condition or not aggravate it or stay in remission with that condition, then your safest bet is to go to a registered dietitian. While there are some nutritionists that will have the expertise for working with chronic conditions, it is not the case with every state. So if you do run across a nutritionist that you feel you'd like to work with or someone that you may know personally, it is best to see what their credentials are or their experience and their training is. So if you're someone who doesn't have a chronic condition, or you have a chronic condition that you feel, I've been doing this for years, I've seen a dietitian or talked to a dietitian before, my nutrition is down to the T, and you simply just want to stay there, stay healthy, maintain those goals, make sure that you don't lose your momentum, then a health coach would be a great option. Now, you probably heard all this and you're like, well, I feel like I could use a dietitian and a health coach. I mean, I want to be able to eat well for my specific concerns, but also stick with the plan. So I need somebody who is an expert at nutrition, but can also cheer me along the way and support me along the way. I'm here to tell you that not only am I a registered dietitian nutritionist, because that is the new credential, but I'm also a health coach. And now I'm happy to announce the opportunity for us to work together through my GLOW membership on Patreon. GLOW stands for Gorgeous Ladies and Lads of Wellness. And for as little as $5 a month, you can take part in fun monthly challenges, have exclusive access to videos, resources, Q&As with me, as well as recipes and meal plans, and so much more. And as your dietitian, nutritionist, and health coach, I'll help you prioritize your health so that you can be a cancer and chronic condition conqueror and thriver. I hope to see you there. Thank you in advance for your visit and your support. Is the difference between a dietitian, nutritionist, and health coach more clear now? Let me know in the comments below. And give this video a thumbs up and share it with someone that may need the clarity as well. And remember, you and your body are unique and beautiful. There is no one size fits all. So silence the standards because you are more.